from someone like Andrea from Salt Lake City. Andrea, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think that Chick-fil-A should combine several worthless current event stories, stop selling chicken sandwiches, and start selling only cakes for gay weddings.
They would do well with that. But Andrea, there's been companies in the past. Now you're in Salt Lake City, which I think there's more than a few Mormons there, right?
I've heard rumor of that. I see nothing to substantiate that claim, but go on.
Well, they used to be, back in the old days when I was, a young man in the 90s in New York, there were people calling for boycotting Blockbuster Video, which I think was Mormon-owned. And am I crazy? There was...
I think you're right. In any case, any boycott of Blockbuster seems to have worked. I mean, have you seen one?
They nailed it.
But yes, I think it was. I don't know if it's. You guys maybe can check that. But it's if Blockbuster was not Mormon owned, it was owned by some people who happen to be religious, and just that fact alone. So just to prove to you that it's not a new phenomenon, the idea of groups boycotting things because they don't agree with the company. And I don't think Blockbuster did anything overt. I think all they would do is they would keep the adult movies in the back of the store. They didn't mix them with their other things because they wanted to remain a family-friendly store.
I didn't even know they had adult movies.
They had them. Maybe they didn't have them. Maybe that was it. By back of the store, I mean a different store. But that was it. They didn't have any movies over a certain thing. I mean, they might have had Porky's or something. They rated R, but they didn't have any rated, whatever the ratings are for the adult films.
Triple X.
Yeah, but you can't even say it. He's like, I don't know.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
People have. I remember when they had something called SpectraVision. Do you remember that? SpectraVision. It was
I don't think so.
It was in hotels, and they'd be like, we now have SpectraVision, which is the adult movies, and Christian groups were trying to boycott hotel chains that had these adult movies in them, and of course they lost that battle big time because then eventually something that annoys me about hotels is they're always trying to push those adult movies on you.
Do they still? That seems like it would be completely irrelevant at this point with the internet.
They do. Andrea, when was the last time you stayed in a hotel?
It was about a month ago, and I didn't even turn on the TV, so maybe I missed that.
Yeah, they have. Ryan, you stay in a lot of hotels.
I do, and
when you turn it on, they
watch a lot of adult films.
I watch adult films while eating Chick-fil-A because that is my right. I don't care if they're in direct opposition with each other.
Did you ever have because I had one time an adult film on my bill. I didn't order it. But the thing is, I felt
that's
so
what you
dumb
told your wife.
denying. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
you feel like an idiot because you know that but there's so many people have ordered an adult movie and then they go down and deny it.
Of course.
But I actually had one on my film, my thing, and I definitely did not. I don't order adult films.
Were you taking Ambien that night?
Maybe it was the no. And so the thing is, I was like, guys. And I went down, and it was a woman at the front desk, and I said, look, I know that I'm sure you get a lot of people lying, but I'm not lying and she looks and she's like, oh, we'll take it off. And I didn't even have to say the words. And I'm like, no, that made me feel even worse because they routinely take off adult movies.
Do you think there's people fighting that? Do you think there's people watching the movie and then going downstairs and being like, listen, do you see this movie? Not me. I think people are just keeping their mouths shut and paying for it.
Oh, really?
I think Tom's right because I think they watch 4 minutes and then they don't need the rest and they're like, I'm going to go take this off.
Why would they be only interested in 4 minutes?
Do those movies run longer than 4 minutes?
What's that, Andrea?
Do those movies run longer than 4 minutes?
I don't even know. Are they? Wait a minute. Honestly, most adult movies, are they full-length movies, 90 minutes, or are they abbreviated?
I don't think anyone knows. No, you know what? When I was in 8th grade, we had a school field trip to Quebec, and that's the first thing everyone did was order all the boys in the class because we got to share hotel rooms with like 3 kids.
Yeah.
And just had a few teachers. The first thing every boy did was get an adult movie, every single one of them, and then everyone piled into their rooms to watch them, so everyone's parents got a phone call. That
is unbelievable. And it's to show you that the young boys wouldn't get excited by that now because they have access to everything they want.
It's very boring to them.
Yeah. Andrea, would you be comfortable sharing your browser history with us sometime?
not comfortable reviewing it for my own purposes.
That's how I feel about mine, Andrea.
Do you ever look at your history? You just open it up and look at it, and you think, I don't want anyone to see that. I mean, I'm just garden variety. Like it's nothing bad, but I just look at it and you think it makes you look like an unexciting person
or a weirdo.
Oh no. Mine's absolutely horrifying, and it's gotten worse because I'm actively applying for jobs and praying to God that someone will hire me and basically not do a background check. I mean, so I'm trying to bury social media, browser history, anything you can think of.
That is an interesting subject. Maybe we could do that someday for a talk radio. We could spend a half an hour talking about what people do now when you apply for a job. You have to... I bet most people, when they're going to do a new job, they go in, they do a little internet cleanup, don't they?
I'm sure.
You know?
Or a better show would be an ambush where you have guests come in and then you say, show me your browser history. And you just go through the last 5 things that were on there.
Yeah.
I'd watch that show.
Oh, man. If you think that Chris Hansen's show resulted in a lot of suicides out of a guilty conscience, I mean, you've seen nothing yet.
They just go out the window. Just show me your browser history. They just jump out the window. Andrea, thank you for the call.